and it should.
Why'd you lose?
I didn't have prismatic seahorses.
Oh, what a shame, bro. Anyway, so this is Dino. Dino, what'd you do today, my friend?
I came top 8 at the Bay Dragon Regionals with Marinecess Frog.
Marinecess Frog. Is that using the new promos out of the Rising Rampage Special Edition?
Yes, I pulled them 2 days ago, put together a deck with very little playtesting and somehow won games.
Somehow won games? Anyway, let's get into the deck profile.
Okay, so the Hard and Solar deck is 3 Marinecess Seahorse. So she's the only good Marinecess monster that's currently released. She can special herself to a zone Marinecess Link monster points to, and that's her pretty much only useful effect. And that's it for the Marinecess because I didn't play any others. Then there was the frogs. Every time I drew Swap Frog, I won.
Those are very pretty. Who'd you get those from?
My benefactor, Mr. Winway. He kindly donated a bunch of expensive cards, so I would have max rarity on this deck. And I still didn't. So for the Frog engine, I ran 3 Swap Frogs, 2 Ronin Totems, and 2 Dupe Frogs. I'm pretty sure that's standard. I've seen some lists run 3 dupes, but I didn't really have the room. I was already running 42.
Cool.
Then the only other water monster in the deck, Sea Archiver. Because the Marinecess Link monsters lock you into waters, I need something that could be an extender that's also searchable off Signet Mining, so this is the only card that fits that. So that's all of the engine pieces in the deck, and then hand traps, I ran 3 Phantasmes, 3 Ashes, and 3 Veilers. I really wish the Veilers were Ogres today because my only losses were my biggest losses were both in round 5 and in top 8 to the same True Draco player, where Veiler does absolutely nothing. And the Ashes and Phantasmes, they did good today. I always drew them when I need them. So the new Marinecess Field Spell would be a much better card if Crystal Heart was released and you could actually make the Link monster I summon at towers. So right now all it does is pump a lot of attack and lets me recur some advantage during my opponent's turn. Then 3 Signet.
Just one of them?
Just one because it's searchable off the Link 1 monster.
Okay.
Just like Sanctuary. Then 3 Signet Minings. Have to get to my Marinecess Seahorse somehow.
Yep.
And that's the only searcher. And I usually have a lot of cards spare in hand. 3 Cold Weather Graves. These are used mainly as disruption. No one knows how to play this deck, so no one ever hand-trapped the right thing. I think I got Ogre on my field spell once. I think I got Veiled on a Swap Frog summon. A bunch of really random hand traps hit me this time, so this won me a game against ABC where I just called by the grave as Buster Dragon and the rest of his pieces, and he cried after that. And then the rest of the spells are 3 Mystical Space Typhoons because needed spell trap removal and
Can't afford a discard?
well, I can afford a discard, but I just didn't want to run Twin Twisters because I usually just want to hit one piece. Because of Marinecess Wave, which gives my monsters immunity to all my opponent's card effects the turn I activate it, and it acts as an impermanence. So this card, after I explained what this card did to people, they didn't believe me. They had to reread the card, and they still didn't believe what it did.
That's the Marinecess Wave. What does it actually do?
So this card, it is effectively effect Veiler. It negates a monster effect on field, but if I've got a link to a high Marinecess monster, it also makes all my monsters I currently control immune to all my opponent's card effects for the rest of the turn. As well as, if I have a link 3 or high Marinecess, I can activate from my hand like an impermanence, even if I control cards.
What the actual hell is this?
And then the Marinecess Link 2 and Link 3 can add this back whenever they're sent to the grave, or just once per turn. So if the only bad thing about this card is it's currently not searchable, but whenever I drew this and was able to cycle it over and over again, and having quite an unbreakable board because of the frogs and because of just big
and it becomes
monsters.
searchable with when Chaos Impact comes out. Is that
it becomes more likely to get in your hand as there's a card that dualities for it.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I'm playing Marinecess Waves, the permanences. May as well play permanences as well. Again, if these or the Veilers were Ogres, I would have had a much better time today. And then the rest of the traps are 3 strikes. I expected a lot more Pendulum, and it just hits a bunch of decks, except True Draco, which lost to True Draco. I wouldn't use Judgments over this because this deck is quite slow and can't put out a lot of damage at once, so having just the life points throughout the duel is so you don't get obligated suddenly. And then the floodgate of choice of the deck, everything's water, run 3 Gozens. Every single player I've rushed today except one gets hit by this. Whenever I activate it, they pretty much ended their turn. Strikers can't play through it, Pendulum can't play through it.
Good for clearing board if you get a second to flip it up.
Yeah, and I got Nibiru'd in round 1, and I activated then I don't have a board, but I activated Gozen, and his deck was completely Earth, so he couldn't play through a Gozen because he had his Nibiru. So yeah,
Spicy.
That's the main. It was 42 cards.
Let's go on the deck there.
Okay, so the extra deck. 3 Marinecess Blue Slug. She's a Link 1. When she's Link summoned, I add a Marinecess monster from my graveyard to my hand. So what happens is you summon Seahorse, you link into Blue Slug, you add Seahorse back to your hand, and then Seahorse can special summon to a Link pointer, and Blue Slug points downwards, and that's all she does. And then one of Sea Angel. Sea Angel searches your deck for the field spell. Free advantage is free advantage.
Another Link 1 as well, just focus arrow.
Only play 1 because you never need more than 1. Then 3 Call Anemone, the best card in the extra deck by far. So she is a once per turn monster reborn for a water monster with 1500 or less attack, which includes Swap Frog. So you get a lot of free activations of Swap Frog and a lot of free bodies if you draw the Frog engine. She also does not need a Marinecess monster to summon, so if you just have the frogs, you can loop them very easily with it. And when she's sent to the grave, I add a Marinecess card from my grave to my hand. So she is just an amazing card with amazing arrows and a good attack stat. And then I played 1 Marbled Rock. It was a last minute decision to play 1 of this instead of 2. I wish I played 2. It would have. I just needed the higher Link monsters because I ran through the rest of them really quickly. So she, once per turn, I add a Marinecess card from my graveyard to my hand, and then if any of my monsters we destroy a battle, usually a Duke Frog, I can discard the Marinecess to take no damage from that battle and prevent the destruction by that battle. So between Wave and Marbled Rock, my board is pretty much unbreakable if I get them both. And then 1 Wonder Heart. She's just used to push damage. I didn't go into it too often.
That's not Crystal Heart, that's something else.
This is Wonder Heart.
Wonder Heart. Cool.
And then I played 2 Totally Awesomes.
More frogs.
I didn't miss the 3rd one. I made 2 in 1 game, and then afterwards I had no more frogs left. So I didn't miss not running 3. Then I played standard Nightmare Package. So I didn't go into Cerberus at all, so that would have been the extra Marbled Rock. Phoenix and Unicorn, just good spot removal. The deck actually lacks spot removal really heavily right now. There's
anything else?
Not much to it. And then there's 1 more card, Shooting Code Talker. So it's a water, and one thing to note is Coral Anemone and Blue Slug both lock you into waters once you use their recursion effects. So this is a monster you can summon with Cyberus monsters, which all Marinecess are, and it can clear a lot of monsters in 1 turn. If its attack set was a little high, it would be a little nicer, but the draw effect is useful. It came up a couple of times today.
Oh, awesome.
And then just some tokens, which...
Just some lovely tokens. You want to do side deck as well?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Let's splash that to one side.
Okay. So, for the side deck, 3 rocks.
3 rocky boys.
This deck does not deal well with big boards, and if someone summons a big board on me, I have no out really.
What do you say to the giant rock? Yo, Angelo. Moving on.
Yeah. 3 Lanciers. Didn't put them in at all. Didn't play a single Orcus today. Really surprising. Or I didn't play a single Thunder either. I don't regret having them in there. They're just too blowout against those matchups. 3 Gamma Seals, courtesy of Keza. They came in a few times. They're really nice, just spot removal, and then I can destroy the rest of the things by battle, or resolving an evenly match. And they're waters, so I can use them after I use other effects.
They're good boys.
Then 3 evenly matches. I don't like big boards,
lovely, lovely.
So I get rid of them. And then a card that most decks can't play, but this deck can, 3 White Howlings.
How did that That's scrapey when he wins against Sky Striker.
I didn't play any Strikers today somehow, even though it was the most represented
So
deck.
no Striker, no Orcus, no Thunder Dragon.
Yeah, I played against True Drake, like a bunch of random rogue decks, and True Draco and Pendulum and Dragoonity and Insects and.
Do you feel like not versing any sort of meta decks helped you get to your top 4?
I wanted to verse meta. I was prepared for meta. I like this card by itself just beats Pendulums and it beats Strikers because if I control water, banish a spell out of their grave and negates all their spells for an entire turn. I only ever drew it once against a True Draco player and he lost so much advantage that turn that he crashes on monster into mine for no reason.
Bloody hell. Anyway, any shout-outs you want to do, bro?
So shout-outs to just the Card Merchant and the Vagabond teams. Good bunch of lads to test with and play with.
Good stuff. Anyway, hey, congrats, bro.
Thanks.